What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at Marrow from the Nemesis wave. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Marrow. So let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, we are in this Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave, right? We've got the more rectangular package, X-Men logo at the bottom. There's your Build-A-Figure Marrow Marvel Legends series, X-Men logo at the top. Flip it to the side, nice comic image of Marrow there. Flip it to the back. There's your image again. There's the wave. That's the important stuff. There's your blurb. Once a member of the Morlocks, a community of outcasted mutants, Marrow has the ability to manipulate bone growth. Let's get her out of the box. Fresh out of the box, Marrow's the kind of character I look for in a wave, right? The kind I like. Checks a few boxes, a little bit more obscure, pretty random, something that's going to look cool on the shelf, right? Not your A-list at all by any means, but something that's going to have some presence. And I really like the aesthetic of these bones coming out, the Marrow shape shifting. It looks really cool. It's gonna really stand out, and that's certainly something to elevate your display. Now, you don't get a lot in here, right? You've got the extra hands, you've got the bone accessories. That's it. You do see the bone growing out of the back, though. To me, that makes up for a lot, because that's a pretty cool design element. And at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I certainly would love to see more accessories, maybe alternate head options. That, for me, is always something that I like to see in these figures. If I'm not going to get loaded with accessories, that's fine. I don't need 50 pairs of hands either. The alternate heads is what it really comes down to me for. You know, you just have a mixture of expressive and non-expressive faces in your display, which is fine. You can make it work. It looks good and all, but I kind of would like to have the option of either, so I could really make out the display how I truly would like it to be. Other than that, I mean, it is a good looking figure, so we'll take a closer look and see what we've got going on. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at the face sculpt there, and it's a really good looking face sculpt. I mean, they've done a beautiful job there. Also, all this bone material just looks really good on the figure. Certainly stands out. As I said, something that's going to have presence, and that's what I like to see out of the figure. A little plain on color, but I don't think you need to really go all that in depth. Maybe some shading or something would elevate it, but for me, the overall aesthetic is pretty on point, pretty representative of what I would like to see for this figure. The only downside for me is not having an expressive face. I really want an angry face to go with this figure, something that I think would truly elevate the display ability. For your accessories, you do have your bone cheese. Again, this is a nice accessory, something new, something different in the line, even if you don't plan to use it with her, which I'm not sure why you wouldn't, but even if you didn't, you could certainly use these somewhere in your collection somehow, right? So love to see new accessories with our figures. For your hands, you do get your open set of hands, and when removing the hands, the cuff is a separate piece, so you can remove that. So when you're removing the hands, you just want to be mindful of that as well. And your alternate set of hands include a fist and a flare hand. For your articulation, the head will look down to there, chin will touch the chest. You are on that system there, which gives you all that range back and forth. For me, I like it because you do get that backward range. I understand it does limit some people for their display ability, but that ball peg system is good enough for me. Head moves all the way around. You do get plenty of movement and rock in there, so you'll be able to get some good posing for the head sculpt. Arms do work their way all the way around. You will hit the bone going backwards, but you can move that arm in and out between those however you need to. You do have that upper bicep cut, double jointed pinless at the elbow. nothing at your forearm, and then your hinge at the wrist. Upper torso area there, so that gives you a lot of movement, but you can see you get that gap up in the top of the abdomen there, but you get a lot of upward movement. The only downside is you get nothing at the lower abdomen, so you're static, no hip swivel, no lower ab. Love to see something there. You do get some pull away there. You can tell it is a separate piece, so I guess that's really something you'd love to see, that extra articulation there, but a little bit odd that you get that gap and pull away at the lower abdomen piece there. It doesn't stand out, but it certainly moves a little bit and could wear over time. Leg will kick out to there, back to about there, up and out to about there. Upper thigh cut, double jointed, pinless at the knee, and that bone piece doesn't get in the way. Nothing at the boot, and then hinge and swivel at the ankle. For comparison, here she is backed up against our highly articulated Black Widow. You can see she does come in just a little bit taller there, so depending on where you're going to put her in your display, that gives you an idea of her height. For another comparison, here she is backed up against Strife, a larger male character, so that'll give you some idea of her height difference in the display. And then here she is backed up against Daredevil, just to give you an idea of your more average male buck in the Legends line. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Marvel Legends Marrow from the Nemesis Build a Figure Wave. Cool looking figure, love the aesthetic of this figure. I like what they've done with the bone structure and all of that in the design coming out with the weapons as well. So that to me is very cool aesthetically, and it's going to look good on the shelf. Plastic is a little on the gummy side, so that's certainly disappointing, as that hasn't really been the case in a little while for the figures, at least in my experience. And I mean, I do go through a lot of these figures, so I hope that's not indicative of where things are headed. I just hope that this is sort of a one-off, and maybe it's just mine, right? So let me know if you have this figure, how yours is, if you're experiencing that as well. That aside, like I said, very cool figure, very cool aesthetically. I like how she's going to look. The biggest downside to this figure for me is not having an expressive head. I would prefer, if we're only getting one, that we get the face with the expression. Now that's just my personal preference. That doesn't mean everybody agrees with that, right? A lot of people would maybe just want the stone cold face, right? I don't know. I can't speak to that. That's why I like having the option of two heads. One expressive, one non-expressive. I think that covers a lot of grounds. I don't need 50 hands like I've said previously. I don't even need a ton of accessories. I just need the right accessories, a couple of hand options. Two heads for me is the biggest thing. So that's what I would improve with this figure, but overall it is a decent figure. Folks, that's the 2 cents. Do what you want with that information. Hopefully it helps you in your decision if you're looking for this figure. I think a lot of people are. This is one that is kind of cool, and it goes not only to the comic collectors, but also the video game collectors, right? So a little bit broader audience on that. So, you know, and I like that. It brings other people into the line, and they can enjoy this as well. Let me know what you think about this figure, though. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, you can find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. Feel free to hit that join button. Join those channel members. Shout out to Just Justin Collects, Northern Nomad, and Christopher Allen. Channel members currently, they've taken the dive. You could join those guys. Folks, I appreciate you coming and hanging out, checking out the video. Until next time, take it easy. A little plain on color, but shit.